Okay, there you go. See, that is pushed farther back. Now, these washers aren't perfectly centered, but the cleat is perfectly centered. As you notice here, this is the center point of the shoe, right where that toe piece is right there, and I have the cleat centered. Now, not everybody's foot is going to be centered, have a centered cleat, but I wear a center cleat, as you can see here. Don't try to center it to this. This is not the center of the shoe. This is off center a little bit because the shoe curves. This is the center. And I could actually take a ruler and run it from here to here and show the center of the shoe. So that's a perfectly centered cleat. You can still adjust these either way. You have to get your comfort point. That's it. Push back away. Use a 4mm Allen. That's what you need for these cleats, these little keels. I'm going to show you the other one. Very simple. Watch. I'm going to do it on camera with one hand. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to loosen up. Even with my little Torx wrench, I can loosen it up. Loosen it up. Bam. I'm going to take this. I'm going to push it all the way back, right? All the way back. It's all the way over. I could push it over this way. As you can see, it slides a little bit. These do slide. But I'm going to have it here. That's centered for me. Bam. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to tighten. Normally I could tighten this a little faster if I'm using two hands, just because of the fact that I got two hands free. Sorry about this, folks. I'm going to switch hands. I'm going to use this hand. And I use the Torx wrench. Tighten this down to bam, 4 Newton meters, 5 Newton meters, sorry. That's what you want to tighten them to, 4 or 5 Newton meters. It's bam, right there, click, click, click. Clicks, don't go beyond the click. This is preset, 5 Newton meters, 5 Newton meters, says there right on the top, bam, 5 Newton meters. There, now my cleats are back farther. Let me show you the difference of what these are going to look like. Look, folks. There's the shoe. There. I can set this up. Sorry about this. Look, that cleat is now in the same position. Didn't think it could be done, did you? Road cleat back farther. It's not shoved forward all the way. I'm going to lose a little bit of power. It's not a big deal, but I'm not trying to win tours here, folks. I am riding for fitness and fitness sake. That's the way you set up your cleats if you want comfort. Now, you're a pro rider, maybe you get a little bit more comfort if it's on the ball of your foot. That's something you have to experiment with. I personally know that the farther back my cleat is, that the better it feels on my foot. So that's what I've done. Bam, those are set up to my liking. Now I'm going to go back to my other shoes here, and I realize, oh wow, I was just stupid. I set these cleats up too far forward. That's why they were hurting my foot. Okay, they weren't hurting with when I was using my speed play pedals. Why were they hurting with this pedal? It's not, it's no different of a pedal. It's just a style of cleat. So they should have felt the same. Nope, I had them set up wrong. So for you guys, I set up my cleats wrong to show you can set them up properly. That's how you should do it. Very simple. Ride your bike. Get yourself a little trainer. That way you can set up your stuff. Spend $100 on an inexpensive trainer. You can ride in the house when it's raining outside. It's raining outside right now. I can ride. I can put these on, put my bike on the trainer, and I can test these cleats out and make sure they're not going to be discomforting for me. That's all you need to know, folks. Hopefully this has been an informative video. Hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully you guys hit that subscribe button up above. And like always, keep riding. Sky Glue Bones back with another video for you guys today. Cleat placement, what's it about? How does it differentiate between shoe to shoe and from pedal type to pedal type? And what makes the most comfortable cleat position? I will tell you what, cleat position is one of the most controversial and one of the most discussed about things in the bike industry today. And it's not something that costs anybody money. It's not like anybody's making money off of certain cleat positions. It's just one of the hardest things to fit for the customer or the cyclist. Okay, so how can you know what is going to be the most comfortable cleat position for you? Now, we're going to take a look at my foot, my nasty, grody ass foot here. It's all dry, and yeah, okay. So here's your foot, and this is the side of your foot. And traditionally, this is the ball of the foot here. And you get the most power transfer if the pedal itself is right under the ball of the foot. The problem is that is also one of the weakest and most tender. I shouldn't say the most weakest part of the foot. The strongest part of the foot is right in here. But this is one of the most tender parts of the foot, and a lot of pressure over a long period of time. Now, if you're riding your bike for an hour or two a day, and that's about it, it's not so much of a big deal. But what happens is over time, especially in warmer climates, is you develop hot spots inside the shoe. And they develop for two reasons. They develop first because you get flex in the shoe. So one thing to overcome that is by going to a carbon fiber sole. Okay, the problem is as well, a carbon fiber sole is kind of fitted, and if your foot is bent in that same spot for a long period of time without any venting like this has, without that venting, your foot is going to develop hot spots as well, just from your foot being pushed in that position for a long period of time. Because if you'll notice, this shoe is not a natural bend from what you would have. The toe is kind of curved up a little, so it's curving the front of your toe up so that your foot is in the most ergonomic position for power transfer. That's what the whole point of this type of shoe, this road shoe, is for. It's for power transfer. If you notice, that's how your foot's going to sit on the pedal. Your heel's going to be up a little bit, but also that's kind of an uncomfortable position. And the older a person gets, and I'm not, young people, it's not so bad, but the older we get, our bones they start to wear out. And it's not so much our bones. You get bone chips and things like that in your bones, so you're going to get some pain from that. But you also, your cartilage, everything wears out as a person gets older. And it doesn't matter how fit and how skinny and how everything else you are. By the way, people that are heavier, when you are heavier, it's going to affect you. So, because, and I may only have 30, 40 pounds on somebody else, but that 30 or 40 pounds carrying around on a day-to-day basis is going to wear down on your feet. So it's going to make things a little bit more painful. So when you put on a set of cycling shoes and you're like, oh man, my feet are really sore after an hour of riding. When you put on normal shoes, is your feet sore after a while of being at work for the day? With comfortable shoes, probably they still are. So don't blame your cycling shoes. Don't blame the cycling cleat position. It's probably just the fact that you get sore feet anyways, no matter what. But one of the ways that we kind of eliminated is by pushing the cleat back as far as we can off the ball of the foot, kind of pushing it more towards the center of the foot here. So by pushing forward, you're going to get a little bit better power transfer. By putting it back, you're going to get a little bit more comfort. And that's why people go with more of a mountain bike shoe. The problem is, as you can see, this cleat goes back quite a bit farther. If I was to put this up to where my foot is, this would sit more, if I had the shoe on, sit more in the middle of my foot. But it sits quite a bit back farther from the road shoe. And if I put the road shoe up to my foot, this is going to sit more up towards the front of my foot. So yes, I could push this. And this is actually pretty far forward. So by pushing this back, if I was to push this cleat back this way, I would gain more comfort. You notice that's pushed all the way forward. That cleat is all the way forward. So what we're going to do, see how these are. Oh, look at that. They're all the way forward. So by pushing this cleat back, we push the cleat back, we're going to gain some comfort on this shoe. In fact, you're going to even open up a little bit of this venting here, make it a little bit easier to get to that venting. So that's why you got discomfort with these shoes. That's why there's that discomfort. The other part is, too, you might, with this more far forward, you might get rubbing between the pedal and this part of the shoe. So I'm going to pause the video for a second. I'm going to push these back and I'm going to show you the difference.